We're going to call. Zone number.
Oh, that's sweet, buddy.
Bob, good.
Is that the goal? Yeah, come with me. Okay. Oh, we're not here for social. No.
Are you? Any board members present on Zoom? There's just a schedule.
Oh, good. I'm not the last. Anybody.
Do we have any members of the public present on Zoom?
They do not.
Okay, great. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the December 10th, 2025 meeting. I could have a motion to approve the minutes, please. Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, it's approved. We will now suspend reinvestment bill number 16, and we will call the order of Town Development Authority meeting. So we still don't have board members present on Zoom or members of the public. Do we have any people who are commenting from the public? No, we don't. Right. Again, if we could approve the minutes of the December 12th, 2025 meeting, please could I have a motion. Motion, seconds.
So.
Second, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Carries. Okay, Shannon will now review the quarterly investment report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. On page 4 is the first page of a 2-page quarterly investment report for the period of October 1st through December 31st, 2025. This first page kind of outlines the different funds that we have and the institutions along with the balances that we have in those funds. The top part is our capital projects fund for capital checking. We have just over $370,000 in Capital One deposit accounts. And then for our Regions Bank accounts, which is our primary depository, we have just over $700,000 for a total of $1,074,000 for our projects checking account. That middle section are our infrastructure funds account. And these are the trustee accounts that collect our increment funds for the city of Houston, as well as HISD and soon to be the county. But anyway, at the end of the reporting period, you had just over $24.5 million in those funds. The large portion of that is about $16 million, which is in our debt service reserve and debt service funds. The balance of it is the increment surplus. You can see the $3.6 million worth of activity for this period, and that is primarily paying Memorial Park and some of the other capital commitments, their green space maintenance and ecological restoration, along with Houston Arboretum. That third and final section on this page are our affordable housing funds, which are also housed with our trustee, which is Bank of New York Mellon. You see that we have just over 1.2 for a Bank of New York Mellon, and then just over 6.1 for Texas Capital Bank. The 6.1 in Texas Capital Bank represents the debt service reserve fund for housing. And then the 1.2 represents primarily the debt service reserve fund along with the trustee for a total of 7.4. The second page, which is page 5 of this report, looks at those things that are deposits and require collateral as required by our investment policy, and those things that are invested and the type of investment. With Capital One Bank, those are deposits, just over $370,000. And it is collateralized by FDIC insurance to the tune of $250,000, as well as government agency funds that help collateralize the balance of those deposits. With our Regions Bank deposits, it's just over $700,000, and those are collateralized by the FDIC insurance, which is $250,000, and then about $650,000 in investment accounts. Our structure with Regions, it is swept into investment accounts. That is the Morgan Stanley Government Fund. So those are primarily treasuries and authorized under our investment policy. With Texas Capital Bank, again, that 6.1 represents our debt service reserve for that affordable housing issue back in 21. And those are deposits with Texas Capital Bank, and it is collateralized by a letter of credit, which is also approved collateral for those deposits. And then last, the money that we have in our trustee account with the Bank of New York Mellon is just over $25 million. Again, that's with the infrastructure and housing. And those are in, again, money market funds that are primarily treasury. So it's considered an investment and therefore does not require collateral. And then the other section on this report contains our compliance with the training requirement in our policy. The last training was in April of 2024. Our policy requires that every 2 years, the investment officer gets 10 years of training. And so Michael is due for training this year in 26, and we will get that scheduled to be compliant with that as well.
10 hours, I think, or did you say 10 years?
Did I say 10 years? That's a lot of training.
That's a lot of training. I was about to say, you're a saint, Michael.
Apparently, my years was.
Thank you. No, 10 hours, not 10 years. But that is it. Thank you.
Okay,
Shannon.
all right, next order of business, we're gonna stick to Shannon to review some and some invoices for approval.
Okay, page 6, you have the invoices that we're submitting to you today. It's not very much. We expect that once that Trail and Bridge project gets up, we'll have more invoices and payments under the UDA. But right now, it's primarily the reimbursements that the UDA pays to the district for project management and administrative costs. That's for January and February. And then also a small amount of UDA contracts and work orders, primarily with attorneys doing legal services and right of way, and just a few minor invoices, just over $105,000 being approved, submitted for your approval today. Are there questions or concerns regarding these invoices?
Do I have a motion to approve them, please? So move. Second? Okay,
Second.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then the following pages are just a little bit more information on maybe what that particular cost was on page 7. And then for your MWDBE report, page 8 looks at the cumulative through inception through January 26. You can see that we have a goal of 24% for professional services. And since inception, we've maintained about 41%. Likewise, with our construction goal of 17%, we're at 24% historically. The bottom section just kind of looks at this year to date. Again, no big capital projects going on until we get to the bridge. And so there is no construction. And then we're at 41% for professional services. And you can see a little bit more information and charts for that activity on the following pages.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we've got a big item here, which is we need to consider a supplement to the amended and restated development, construction, operations, maintenance, and concession agreement. The Legend Memorial Park is a three-way agreement with the UDA, City of Houston, and Memorial Park Conservancy. Michael, walk us through that, Stephen.
Yeah, and I'll start and Stephen and Shannon jump in if I miss anything. Back in 2018, we signed a tri-party agreement between the Memorial Park Conservancy, the City of Houston, and the TIRZ for investment in Memorial Park. The Kinder Foundation is how are they described?
Major donor.
They're the major donor. Their name is all through the document. Basically, it was the Kinders were going to basically put $70 million into Memorial Park from 2012, 2014 just got whacked with the ground. And so this was a chance to take the city park, a big city park, and make it something special. So the Kinders putting in $70 million of it, and they're looking for the city match. City didn't have it. City looked to Uptown, which said, okay, well, Uptown's doing pretty well. Let's get Uptown to add it to the TIRZ, and Uptown will put infrastructure dollars into helping rebuild Memorial Park. Right now, we're at about 78 million, 75 to 78 million invested since 2013. The document was signed in 2008. It said we're going to do the two Appendix A and Appendix B. A is basically maintenance, ecological restoration, paying for the running center expenses. B is capital projects of $50 million. Total, it's gonna be roughly, give or take, $130 million from the TIRZ into Memorial Park. We're at about 70. The valuations of Uptown flattened out right after we signed the tri-party agreement in 2008. A lot of different things. So valuation, I'm sorry, the price of oil went from $100 to $30, not once, but I think maybe twice. Or 70, 100 to 30, 100 to 30, and then anyway, it went down twice. Then we had the pandemic, and we've had a number of downturns. So the valuation has stayed flat. Right now, retail is doing really good. Office is doing terrible. Office is going to come back, but it takes a longer period of time for office to come back. So we do not have the increment coming in on what was put in those schedules A and B of the tri-party agreement. We do have enough money that we think we looked at, we've modeled it out to 2040. And we think conservatively that we will be able to pay all the obligations from Memorial Park, but it will be on a different time schedule. And so we've had to push out some capital projects. We've had to push out some other stuff toward the end of the life of the TIRZ. And what this document does, it goes through what that looks like. It just says that we're going to push out some of the payments on capital projects. It gives what's most important. Most important is green space maintenance, ecological restoration, paying back a $3 million debt we owe for the SLT, the trail that goes around Memorial Park that the Kinders fronted the money for us to buy because they wanted to build it faster. And so what this document basically does, it does not change anything in the tri-party agreement except for the schedule and how we're going to operate. We work very well with Memorial Park Conservancy. Chris Ballard, the new president, and us, go back and forth. We're going to start every April. Every April, we start looking at what the increment's going to be. We update it every year, hand it over. Here's our update. We had more litigation settlements this year. We have less money this year. We have to take it out of somewhere to give it to you. And so basically this document just puts into words how we're going to operate going. If there's anything that changes outside of the tri-party agreement, it might be the word that we're going to negotiate. We will sit down and negotiate with the Memorial Park Conservancy. It doesn't say that. We have to do what they say. It's the board's decision and the city of Houston's decision on what that increment looks for. And so we give you all the best advice we can. We try to move forward. We have a debt to pay, and we have obligation to pay with that tri-party agreement. Kinders has put a lot of money into the city of Houston. They put a lot of money in the parks. They put a lot of money in the Memorial Park, and this is something that's signed by the city, the mayor at that time, and us to refurbish Memorial Park. Did I miss anything, Steve?
Nope.
It doesn't. So what we do is we get the increment every year, and it's been going down because the tax rate's been going down and the valuation is flat. And so we did an estimate what it was going to be all the way out to 2040, and we think we're going to have enough. If we don't have enough, then some of their capital expenditures are going to have to go down. Something's going to have to go down toward the end. We have a big, lack of a better word, slug of money that comes in at the end. Shannon was just talking about all that money sitting in our bank, 24 million. Well, 16 million of that is debt reserve for the bond, back in the bonds. And so that'll start being released toward the end. And so that'll go into paying some of those capital costs, those big ticket capital costs.
What year is that?
We're actually talking to our financial advisors and others about when we can start getting released. It's not everything. We're going through a lot of different scenarios, even one scenario that we refinance it. We're not ready to bring it forward yet because they're still working through it. I forgot when we get a little bit
Depends on how we structure it, which we are still working out, but you could get a little bit, when you restructure it and then a little bit release. It's a formula and it based on what's still outstanding, so it just depends on the scenario.
Our debt holders have to be on the website, and then we can get what's the mechanism, we get insurance, basically an insurance policy.
Oh, yeah, to release, what's that?
Surety policy.
A surety policy.
But we're looking at that too. But again, they wanted a lot more foot in the stomach. And we said no. Anything that trains a tri-party agreement, we didn't.
So a couple of comments. Number one, this took months to work out. So Michael and Shannon spent a lot of time working, and I've read 3 or 4 drafts of this as we went along. I think what's really good about it is the Conservancy / Kinder Foundation, it's hard to know which one's pushing harder, basically said, well, you have to do this. Of course, you can't do that. So what we've gone from as a document that was sort of an absolute, which is you will do this. One that said, but it said in the very beginning, out of the available income. Okay. What's helpful about this is we now have a priority, or if we don't have it, here's what's impacted in this particular order. What I think is important about that is a recognition on this that no, we may not have any. Before it was a sort of, well, you will. Didn't. And we don't know how it's going to turn out, but when you look at some of the projects that are planned for post-open authority, take a while to get built, but once they're built, they will dramatically impact the taxable value of the district and the TIRZ, and that will make a difference. But the next few years are challenging. Part of that is because the HISD increment goes away after a while. That's the big thing that changes it. There are a lot of other things that could happen, whether the term gets extended. That goes into the refinance issue. If we can get it extended, then a refinance is going to look different. It's got a longer, we can do it if we want. Okay. So a lot of hard work, really a lot of hard work went into this. And it is not a perfect document, but it is far better than I think we found ourselves.
We basically said a number of times, well, we can't support that, and our board's not going to support that. And they had to take it out. And so we did this time and time again.
We've gone from a document that was full of absolutes that only has a few absolutes. And again, I really like the fact that it acknowledges that we may not be there, and there is a priority for what gets funded, because that amounts to an admission, you may not be able to do it.
Right. And when we first brought this to the board, that well, at first we didn't think we're going to have enough to pay our whole obligation. There was a couple of things we left out. As easy miss is the interest gained on our debt reserve. We weren't adding that in here, and it's a chunk of money. It's a chunk of money over 15 years. There was another calculation we didn't. We sat down. We did the right thing. We sat down with our financial advisors. Shannon, we recreated the document, and we went through every single line item. Okay, what does it really look like? We slowly brought down the city tax rate. We slowly brought down valuations. Actually, we were down and then we went up. We're thinking that this development, Ritz-Carlton development, and hopefully the Post Oak Partners development are going to have a big chunk going in 2030. So we relooked at it, and we think we're able to honor the tri-party agreement. But when I brought it to y'all, when after we did that first round, which we didn't think, I brought y'all a sheet on top of it. We have to, first, we're going to try to honor the agreement. Second, we got to make sure we pay for green space maintenance first. We can't go back to the city and say, oh, by the way, we can't pay for the entire green space of a park you spent an entire day in. If it went back to the city, oh boy, they would be on it. Because they would have to go back on the cities.
Well, sure.
They had to go back on their budget.
It did behoove everybody to make it work.
Is that paid out annually?
We give them,
Yeah.
was it 1.2 this year,
Yeah.
1.3?
Yeah.
And green space maintenance.
So where it becomes an issue is when we talk about a couple of other projects. Well, Mike will talk about it.
Yeah, we've got capital projects. We've got 50 million and we spent 30. We paid 30 for the land bridge. We've got another 20 million rough, plus or minus a little bit
Yeah.
of capital costs. That we have, there's different trails. We got the 3 million we got to pay back, for the SLT. We've actually got on this bridge project we're doing, we actually have money in the capital project. But there's a number of line items and it's actually in. I sent you an electronic copy.
good.
Look at, if you want to look at it, the Schedule A and Schedule B.
So with that, questions?
This may not be relevant, but there's three parties in this. Do you have to be unanimous on decisions, or is everybody motivated to be unanimous?
And all it says is we have to get down, it doesn't say we have to agree with them.
Okay,
The
so it
parties
doesn't
have to agree.
It does, we don't actually have to agree.
And what I mean is,
have.
it's subject to a mutual agreement.
Yeah.
Mutual means unanimous. Okay,
Effectively, yeah.
that's good, because it can be bad if you're on.
It requires everybody to get in the way it does, which is really kind of the goal. Instead of one.
Well, nobody wants to see
You
anything
have to
fail.
do
I mean, you know, the goal here is to get it done. It's, you know, how it can be done.
Yeah, at first they didn't believe us.
That's true.
When you were saying, hey, we don't have the money, it's not here. It might be here toward the end of the TIRZ, but it's not, it's a. Nobody envisioned evaluation staying flat and the tax rate going down and the litigation settlements going up all at the same time. And so in 2018, in the years before, I'd say 2012, 2017, there were double digit increases in valuation. We're talking 15 to 20% valuations going up year after year after year.
Michael, what is out of curiosity the percentage of vacant office space in our district? Just out of curiosity.
Vacant, I've seen somewhere between 27% and 30, some vacant
for office.
for office.
It depends on when the building was built. If it was built since 2013, it's at about 92% occupied. But if it's built before that, it's down to like 60.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And so, but we have things like this building, these three buildings, that they emptied them out and they're filling them back up. And I can tell you that the traffic of coming TDECU, yeah, the largest credit union in the area has 3 floors over there. There's people moving in here every month. In the traffic just on Post Oak Boulevard going to restaurants at lunch or going to Whole Foods. And so it's filling back up. It's going to take that valuation a while to go back up.
Yeah. No,
the big one is that the Marathon.
Uh-huh.
That's 1 million square feet.
Yeah, 1.2.
So that adds, once this one starts filling back up, you'll see that number start going. They're actually their rates are, we got in at the right time, signing our new lease here because everything it started to jump back up.
Who owns this building?
Parkway, Midway's
Parkway.
developer, Parkway owns it.
I don't know how many times it's changed hands, but anyway, it's good.
They're putting money into it.
Yeah, which is great.
Mhm.
It's
So
fantastic that they are.
So, Stephen, you mentioned the order of, I guess, cutting back or priority if you're in a situation where you can't do everything. Is that order easily discovered in the document?
it is a document. And this is the old document. This is the old, it's in, Stephen, you don't want to pay you,
So what is the order?
number one, green space maintenance. Number 2 is ecological restoration.
And this is order of what we fund for.
We have to fund those.
So if you're at the bottom of this list, you're less likely to get funded.
It'll be towards the end.
And there are things like that.
And
Be fun.
the SLT, that Kendra's funded $3 million payment fund.
Right.
And so we've got that on schedule to be paid for $1 million in the next 3 years. The $3 million payment.
If you want to look at the document, it's towards the bottom of page 6, sub B, Room 1 is where the ranking is.
Say that again, Steve.
Down towards the bottom, page 6, subpart B, Roman numeral 1. The stormwater management, connectivity in the park, outer loop trail, Crestwood,
These are the ones
then
that come last.
green space maintenance, and then third, ecological restoration.
That would be, I think, that's back to, so the,
Yeah,
the green space maintenance and, ecological restoration,
last being most important.
last one most.
Right.
So right now you've got,
The carry of the water wall, where is that in that order?
that is not in there. That is in a different line item. That is, we have another line item of what we pay, of what gets paid. Right now it's 760,000 or 790,000 a year of project management for the bridge. Other items that this staff take care of. The water wall, we have 310,000, and the water wall's roughly running about 290 a year.
Yeah, 290.
But we haven't stepped up. We go 210, we go 310, 320, 330. We have stepped up going out to 40. And at some point in time around 2040, we have to find somebody to take the loan. The city's gonna have to take ownership, or the county to take ownership. So that is in a different category.
Meaning it's not a potential cutback.
If they come back and they sit there and goes, we need you to start looking at yours and cut yours back, it has to be part of the conversation.
But it's true, they get to approve our overall budget. That is part of the deal.
But they look at it, they don't have to approve it. The word approving, yes, they can say, they can go back to the city, they're not paying us, and they could,
They could.
they could
Theoretically.
argue with the city.
Yeah, but there is a mechanism. I mean, they get to review it, and then if they are not satisfied with funding levels in our budget, it goes to the standards committee. And the standards committee, then if the standards committee can't reach a solution that satisfies everybody, then it goes to the mayor and the major donor. Or a final arbiter.
So there's at the end, there's I think there's 4 payments for the 2041 fund. 2041 fund is basically a fund that starts putting money into an account that they can use after the TIRZ goes away. And I think it's 1.4 million, something like that. This is from memory. So like every 2 to 3 years, we put another tranche in that. We put all those into the year 2040. That will come out of the debt reserve. Instead of paying it 1.4, I think it starts 8 years before the end of the TIRZ. We put it all into 1 year at the end of the TIRZ, 2040.
That makes sense because it's funds that were only to be used after the end of the life of the term.
Right.
It's for green space maintenance. So after we go away, if we go away.
So it's kind of
It's
like
meant to be spent after the TIRZ ends.
at a time when we'll actually have a chunk of cash to put in there.
That would be the last thing you go away. There's stormwater management in here that they put in. That was put in the tri-party agreement. That's probably second to last.
Okay, thank you.
More questions?
We'll say something about developer agreements. There's not a lot of money besides what we're paying administrative costs of what we do. District staff does for the TIRZ. There's a Shannon, Clark, others that we does for the TIRZ. We do have some public safety dollars in there that pay for the flock cameras. We do the water wall. And so we have that in there. There's one other point.
It's not a lot. We have developers.
The developer agreements.
That's at the bottom of page 4.
Yeah, the TIRZ, we've built private B. We haven't done a lot. We've done what, 2 developer agreements?
We've done Three, one was very minor and many years ago, it was $200,000, but
That's not a developer agreement, was it?
What's the story?
It was,
Wilson,
okay.
Sully, Rice, and
No.
one with the district.
no, that's true, then we've done four. Because if you're, yeah, including Wilson's Gully, which of course is a developer agreement, even though the developer was a public entity. But it still counts as one.
Well, we will be going back to everybody, the city of Houston. Memorial Park, everybody's part of tri-party agreement, and it's actually in here that is that right now Midway wants to do a developer agreement for this project, and we're going to show you some information on Lynn Lane a little bit later under project reviews. It might be, I'm gonna throw out a number, this is nothing, say $4 million. Let's say Midway's gonna go, they're gonna front the money, they're gonna build it, and we will take a certain part of the growth of the increment of the project. Let's say we say 50% of the growth will go towards paying off what they spent. And we'll start paying them year after year. Memorial Park has to look at that also. Kinder Foundation look at that also. It's not.
They have the right to say no.
No.
Because there's a clear order of priority of where payments goes. To be clear, they could just absolutely say, gee, great project, not doing it.
And what we would do is we would we would fight back at it. We'd go to the city, and the arbitrator, first arbitrator, supposed to be the standards committee, which Steven sits on. Standards committee, we've got two Uptown, two City of Houston, two Kinder, Memorial Park. And at least one of the city members has to vote yes for it to be a positive vote.
They look gold.
Yeah. So so we go back to the standards committee. If the standards committee disagree with, if they couldn't resolve the problem, then it goes to the mayor and the Kinders. And they resolve.
Which is interesting because of course the Kinders are in the room when this is all going.
Yeah.
So I've got a pretty clear idea of what's gonna happen. So it really doesn't ever want to get past the standards committee, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. Right?
What is
So we're gonna wanna do it.
usually things that make sense usually went out. And so a developer agreement for a project going on Post Oak Boulevard that's going to help the valuation of everything usually work.
And we're not asking for 100% of it.
Yeah.
If we were asking for 100% of it, but the answer probably would be no. The answer, if we're doing it, we're effectively sharing, saying, look, 50% here, 50% goes to you. Right.
I can probably see.
It's a good argument. However, I don't know how it's.
Well, there's a lot of positive chatter of what's going on in Uptown too, just the whole Galleria district. I mean, with the buildings going up and things changing and happening. I mean, it's all positive
It's
things.
a very rational approach.
Yeah.
To take. Doesn't mean we'll get that kind of response. By the way, I have no idea what the response will be.
I see possibly 4 developer agreements in the future. Could be less, could be more. One here in Midway for this project. One for the Ritz-Carlton.
What do they want?
It would be sidewalks. It would be lighing.
There's not much to do on that side.
It
Other than on Guilford.
It could be something small. You're right. They could just come out of the budget and they just say, fine, no development. This one will, because we're doing Lynn Lane. We have to, they're putting basically an intersection right there. So we do have some stainless steel poles that they're gonna have to buy from us. Well,
it is a real infrastructure.
There will probably be something when this big project gets underway.
I don't know what it is, but developers will be.
And
Find a way to spend our money.
That's
amazing.
Landry's will probably come back to us to fix the corner at Hollyhurst and Post Oak Boulevard.
What's the matter with the corner?
777 Post Oak Boulevard. They've got they've got the chillers, they've got their power plant there, and so they have one lane that goes straight or turns right.
Did he buy that building?
He bought the building. The other, so we might have to do it. They kind of want us to do a developer agreement to move all that stuff out the parking lot. It would create a right turn lane So all the backup line on Hollyhurst can actually move, going, to get on to 610. So,
You got which building? It's on Hollyhurst.
777.
Postal Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that, what's it, 6 or
It's
7
a
story
fire-
building?
a tenant in there, I have to tell them, hey, you got a new landlord.
I didn't know.
He probably there.
Probably does.
Probably already knows.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, across the street's my old bank building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hope it doesn't have any problems.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
We have a motion to approve entering into this supplement, please.
So you get to sign this.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Hold on.
It's been a long.
Here's the bit.
Not the first time he's looked at it.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I've read this agreement many times.
He has improved this agreement.
Many
I tried
iterations.
to improve it, and some of my suggestions were taken, and others were rejected, but not by our team.
So I'll make the motion.
Okay, thank you. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Is that aye? You opposed? No? Okay, it's approved. Thank you, and Michael, thank you and Shannon for a lot of
all your hard work.
good work.
Steve Wood
And Stephen too, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
It was a lot.
It's not a good memory for me.
It was a lot.
PTSD over this one. There's an even Steven joking.
Yes, there is, even so. Okay, thanks. All right, next order of business is, our update.
All right. Yeah, again, if there's any updates y'all want to hear at these meetings, just email us, pick a phone call, text me, we'll give you updates. We've got so much going on that we try to pick what's relevant, what we've got really things to talk about. Memorial Park Trail and Bridge, Uptown Memorial Park Trail and Bridge, we are at 100% design. The city has that they're reviewing our designs for permitting. It's gonna take, Clark's been leading the charge on that. It's gonna take about 3 months for the city to review all the designs. Going from the bridge at Villa de Este, right there at Uptown, the top of Uptown Park, across Buffalo Bayou, under 610, going, you've been part of this, going by the Arboretum, and then when we rebuild the intersections, we rebuild the intersections at Woodway and 610, and then another trail that goes from Woodway to Memorial, rebuild that intersection. We have $23 million in funding. This is $18 million from a tech stock grant to the FTA and $4 million from Congressman Hunt for $23 million. The project is $29 million. Okay, the prices have gone up. Steel, concrete, consulting, engineering, you name it, has gone up. There are also, we have TxDOT was going to put more money. We thought there's been a change at TxDOT. TxDOT has less money than they used to. They're pulling back as much money as they can because they're short. This is all at the state. This isn't here. And so we are getting $800,000 from them for rebuilding the underpass under the north side of 610. It was damaged in Harvey. We thought we were gonna get $2 million. And then, so we're getting 800,000. Take what we can get. We've had to put more retention in than we would, and costs have just gone up on this project. I feel comfortable we're gonna find the difference. We've been talking to the city, we've been talking to the county, talking more Park Conservancy and others about how we bridge this funding gap. It's roughly 3 million from once you go under 610 and you get over here by the Arboretum, it's basically 3 million from there to Woodway. And then it's another 3 million from Woodway to Memorial. And so we can do it in 2 phases, 3 million for the first phase, and then wait a number of years and we will find some. You eventually find money from park funding. If you're gonna do something in the park or trails, you find that money at some point in time. The Memorial Park has already talked to a potential funder that was looking at another project, but they thought it was just the remnants of a project. They said, give me something big. I don't want that. Give me something big. This is a big project for somebody. to put their name on.
That's supposed to get naming rights.
Name it.
yeah.
If anybody knows a big family foundation that's looking to do a big park project and have their name on the bridge and the trail,
Powers,
we've got.
Powers Park.
I was about to say Simon.
We have,
Miller.
we have a project for you. There are roughly 240,000 vehicles that go on this segment, average every single day on 610. 240,000 every day. That's a daily average, yearly day average.
I believe it.
And 30,000 on the feeder road, right there. That's 270,000 daily. So we feel optimistic that we're gonna get at least a 3 million. There's HCAC funding for another trail that we're trying to move over, of 9 million that would fund this and others. But HCAC is feeling the pressure from TxDOT to pull back as much as they can. So we have our work set out for us. We are ready to go to build the 23 million. To build that, we have to get sign off from the city, Memorial Park Conservancy, everybody else just to go ahead and get going. Without the other 6 million. What we would do is we would have a trail that, sorry, Steve, we have a trail that goes under 610 and we'll have something connected to the Arboretum trail.
Okay, so basically we just not even do the sidewalk up to Memorial.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah. And we get that money some other, we get that later.
Yeah, I get it.
But we're talking to the county, the city, everybody knows the funding situation. But this is an incredible project. This is the old archery range. Did you go to the old archery range when you went?
No, because I drove.
Yeah,
Because I didn't have
Yeah.
a bridge and trail to go across. And I wasn't taking my life in my hands going at 610.
This is roughly 30 acres of waterfront.
Is it really?
It's 30 acres surrounded by the Bible. And so we would, once you put this, coming in, I've said this to more, I would go in and I would just bulldoze the invasive species, keep all the big trees and throw out natural seed, put some natural trails in. You've got 30-acre park that nobody goes to. That's waterfront park.
That's pretty fantastic.
That's kind of, and then did you go the area between Woodway and Memorial? There's like a triangle that's surrounded by Woodway, Memorial, and 610 in the park. That's next to, that makes sense?
Yes, but no.
Yeah.
No, I did not, but yes, I know where it is.
It's 60 acres. They've got natural trails in there that nobody goes to because there's no sidewalk to them. And so we would be building a sidewalk next to 610 to go the length of that 60 acres. And then the natural people, once you have a green space, so people make their trails.
Yeah.
There's already some trails in there. So this is a very cool project. Clark has, it's going to be a great feature for the city of Houston and Memorial Park.
How long will it take to construct?
Uh,
You're gonna start late summer.
They're saying 18 months,
Hmm.
so it could be up to 2 years, depending on how we schedule it.
So be
I
28.
think 28.
Mhm.
Lynn Lane project. This has been on the project schedule for us to do something with this ever since the TIRZ has been formed. Lynn Lane is, this is the Hilton, Maggiano's, Post Oak Boulevard. Lynn Lane is that road that goes from Post Oak Boulevard. It's a private street. We don't know, the city doesn't know. Goes to the feeder road up here at 610. At 5 o'clock or 5:15, when Westheimer's backed up, this is actually the fastest way to get on the freeway.
Done that many a time.
Here's the development right here. Basically what we've been doing is making this pedestrian friendly, pedestrian promenade. There are thousands of workers in these buildings and go to these hotels that are on 610. We can see them daily walking in the middle of the street, trying to get to a restaurant, trying to get to Whole Foods and other. They will want to go to these restaurants, that have already been planned out and retail planned out at, Central Park Post Oak. So what we're planning on doing, Midway wants to, this will be one of those developer agreements we talked about. Midway wants us to bury the utilities and put a pedestrian friendly promenade all the way to 610. And so, here's another, this was just last week. The construction you can see out the window. They're moving fast on this. So you can see how Lynn Lane comes right into their development. This will be there'll be lights on all four corners of this. Here's the pedestrian promenade. TIRZ headquarters is right here. We would have to go behind their oak trees to connect to 610 because we don't want to tear down those oak trees. This will be an amenity for their employees. We are not going to touch the street. We're just going to ask the landowners, can we bury your utilities? Can we move some utilities? And can we put a sidewalk? It'll be a benefit to your employees. It'll be a benefit to the value of your property. And Midway is going to upfront the money and the TIRZ will reimburse it. AI, ChatGPT. Walter P. Moore is going to be the consultant on this, has helped us put the numbers together. Walter P. Moore put the Lynn Lane photo into ChatGPT and said, make it a pedestrian promenade. This is what we got. This is what we want to do. This would be Maggiano's. We put signage on the back of the different retail entities. We put a sidewalk, people walk, lighting. This would be this is the Hilton. Not exactly look like it, but it's a good rendering. They, again, Midway Central Park Post Oak would build it. They would front the money. We'd have a developer agreement for pedestrian use. Next thing we have to do is develop the budget, meet the landowners up and down Glen Lane. And then it's a UDA project that we'll be bringing back to y'all to approve. And so we're pretty excited about this. It's been on the wish list, on the project list for the UDA and the TIRZ since the beginning.
So Michael, we have to eventually pay for this project.
Right.
The advantage of letting Midway pay for it up front is that they have the cash to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then so we don't have the cash to do it, but the growth and the valuation of this property from their development will help in the future pay for it. Memorial Park will get a percentage of that because that's basically who has the rest of the increment, and they would get part of it, and then Midway would get part of the growth in the increment.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So does it then have to meet the standards of our other projects, MWD, etc.?
Oh yeah. I think.
Yeah, it's all, that doesn't matter. The fact that it's a developed reimbursement project, we have to follow all the same rules we have to follow for any other project.
Because eventually it's ours, so.
Yeah.
Therefore.
I mean, it won't be built in public right away, so we're gonna have to acquire some interest in land. We don't know how it's gonna work yet. Sometimes we've done on a smaller scale, we've done things like this before, where we've been able to get pedestrian easements to build some sidewalks for connectivity. That's probably what we would ask for, but there may be something short of that, like a license agreement, depending on what the landowners want to do. But we can't just have a situation where they can kick us off at a moment's notice, as we're going to put in some improvements.
Sounds like an easement of course.
Yes, an easement would be where we would want to go, of course, if we can. That's what we've done in the past.
And so this is a rendering of Central Park Post Oak, where Lynn Lane would feed right into the development. Crime stats, again, I'll say Uptown, zip code 77056 is one of the safest zip codes in the city of Houston. We might get some bad press Galleria or some thing happen. It is one of the most safest zip codes in the entire city. We're getting great responses from our police cars. We're still getting it.
I see them everywhere.
And so
Everywhere. It's great.
you used to never see the patrol.
Yes, I see them
Even though it
everywhere.
was there. We don't have more patrols. It's the same patrol, DJ. It's not, but you do see them everywhere.
It's
'Cause they
just the
stand out.
color contrast, the black and white.
Yeah.
is-
Thank you all for all y'all who worked on this. This is
Don't make them look too much like those Waymo or whatever those driverless things.
Waymo.
What are they called?
Waymo.
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Oh.
And it's also saving the district a lot of money. The gas and maintenance. It's a lot less than the truck.
Are they hybrid or are they electric? Or-
No, it's just you get very gas mileage and they're new vehicles. Our trucks these are built to idle. They're police cars, so they're built to idle. Those trucks were built to be trucks and drive. They weren't built to idle in a parking lot. So crime's going down, safe place. This is comparison from 2022 to 2025. The theft of a motor vehicle, somebody actually steals a car. January, November, we don't have December's number yet. We have a preliminary number, but we only use what's been released by HPD and these. It's gone down, I think it's 45%, 45%.
This one's.
Oh, no, this was 50%.
Yeah.
This is 50%. The
Next
next
45.
The next one, 45%, sorry. They are from 2022 to 2025. That is theft of a motor vehicle. The biggest number, the theft from a motor vehicle, you leave your purse, leave your computer, shopping bags, get broken in. This is the 45% from 2022 to 2025. Now you're seeing a downturn in overall crime throughout the city of Houston and throughout major cities in the US. I just also think that we do better coordination now with the retailers and the hotelers. We have regular meetings, we talk to them, we give them suggestions. We get on them if they don't do something. We follow up on an incident. So we're kind of, we have better cars now. So we're keeping track on this. I will say that looking at violent crime, we usually used to have in the last number of years, roughly about 15 to 17 violent crimes within a month. It was double digits, like the 15 cent. Now this is like aggravated assault. Two guys could be in a bar and they punch the other guy, and one guy gets arrested for punching the guy in the face, and that's aggravated assault, right, TJ? And so, what's that?
If there's bodily injury.
Any violent crime is up to people. The non-violent crime, property crime, is without a person in there. So out of the last 4 months that we've seen the data, there's been single digit. And it's mainly been the assault. And so violent crime has gone down. And I have to say, and most of the violent crime is not done like in the retail area. It's done in apartment complexes to the west of 77056. So crime is going down, safe place. The really thing that gets everybody in this office is when there will be a crime at Richmond and Fountain View. They say the Galleria area. And then it happens all the time. So we work with the Galleria, we work with our consultants, call Channel 11 up and say, hey, it isn't anywhere close to the Galleria. So we keep working on that. New development, Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Residence, y'all should get an invitation for an open house next Thursday. Dot, you want to find a new resident, move from Ritz-Carlton in a couple of years. Maybe they can sell you.
My really good friend is the head realtor of it.
They can
Tommy Generals.
They can sell you a unit
He's
next week.
died to sell you one.
They have their.
That's great.
It's been a long time since Ritz-Carlton been in Houston, and this is a big deal. We're hearing that the sales is going really well. And so they're having an opening house next Thursday. Y'all should get an invitation. So we're really excited about this. This is a big deal.
Not on that one. I would like to.
They also, this isn't in our footprint, but it's in our market area. The St. Regis has a new owner. Leslie Doggett bought it, and he is going to put a lot of money into updating. It was the hotel for a long time in Houston, and it's got great room sizes. They're gonna blow out the lobby, make the lobby a lot bigger than it is. And he's gonna put a lot of money into it. He is also part of the Post-Art Partners project that probably start in 27. They're talking.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, they haven't released any more details, but he's excited about both projects. Bob and I met with the manager that they brought in to redo this hotel. This is going to be a great project. The Hilton Post Oak has been on foreclosure for that. How it is? That's a foreclosure. It's right. This big hotel across the hall. We're seeing renewed interest in this hotel.
It's a great hotel.
I think it's a big hotel.
Yeah.
They've got big room sizes. But I think finally people own it probably start coming down on what they're asking for, banks. Hanover resident at South, on here on, South Post Oak Lane. They've started to reach the residential floors. It's gonna be 240 unit apartments. Hanover does a good job with their products. It is moving forward. And then we met with Hallmark. Bob and I met with Hallmark Residential. Hallmark is the senior living, assisted living over here. They have a 22-story building they're gonna put on the corner of Garrettson and San Felipe. They've already been started to put the utilities underground for that project. It's going forward. That's gonna be a great project right in here. And the bad news is Randall's closed. They and you kind of
But
took the wind out of me with what you've been saying. I always thought there's an opportunity of this. There's more traffic volume around this location than there is the HEB at Fountain View. Hopefully something will go in there. Hopefully somebody will figure out a way to put something there. But it's in our market area. Our market area is 5 billion.
Doubled their rent.
5 billion in retail sales over the last 4 years. Before the pandemic was 3.7 billion retail sales. So it's a great location. All right, so everybody remembers the Jetsons. The Jetsons are actually coming. It might be 5 years or 8 years, but they're coming. Whammo, somebody mentioned Whammo earlier. Whammo just started inside the driverless cars or inside 610. They've been in Austin for months. Every time we go to Austin, my kids want to get one. I say, wait a little while longer. But Bob and I met with Wisk. Wisk Aero is part of Boeing. Boeing has 2 big players that they invested in advanced air mobility. It's basically electric vehicles that can go straight up and down. This one is pilotless. We will see pilotless somewhere in the United States in the next 10 years. China's a little ahead of us. We're going to see vertical takeoff and landing electric vehicles at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. They will be piloted. They will not be piloted, but everything's moving to autonomous, pilotless vehicles. We will see these in the next 10 years somewhere. Houston is one of the best places for this because we're spread out over so many miles. No zoning, everything just spreads out. Perfect place for it. Wisk predicts that their market here would be 117 fleet. If you had a hour and 16-minute drive, it would be a 15-minute drive flight. The Galleria, we told them next time they come, make sure that this is labeled right, uptown area instead of the Galleria. But it is one of the center hubs that they will eventually build. The first hubs will be the airport, Sugar Land Airport, Ellington Field. Those will be the first hubs, and then they'll get to the retail markets after. But we will be one of those areas.
How high do they fly? My husband's a pilot. I don't tell him about this. I don't think we'll be in the air.
They told me they're going to be in
Have their own space.
Yeah, they're going to have their own space. And so I do not know what that is. Their biggest issue is their approach into the airports and the approach around buildings. Those are the 2 biggest issues. 2 of the big issues. And so we had conversations with them about where they would go. They are looking at metro parking ride locations. That's possible. They call them vertiports that they're going to be building. It would fit perfectly with the West Park Transit Center.
How much would it cost to ride on one? I mean, they've got to keep it pretty reasonable.
They're to keep it reasonable. I haven't seen that. I saw earlier, I forgot it was like $80-something, $90. But this is coming. This one showed an event's coming up. Judson, good seeing you. Texas Children's Youth and Open, March 23rd to 29. And I got to tell you, the Astros Foundation has done a great job with Memorial Park Golf Course and bringing quality events. They bring in the LPGA Trevor and Championship right after the Texas Children's event. If you haven't walked around these golf courses they're gorgeous. We did it with our kids last year. Yeah. And then the FIFA World Cup, June 14th to July 4th. It's basically having 7 Super Bowls in a row. From June 14th to July 4th. Yeah, there's gonna be actually an event on 4th of July. Most of these games are between 11 and 1 during the day. They do have one nighttime game. But we're hoping that Germany, Portugal, and Netherlands make it in these later rounds that have big draws. Uptown will be the second. Downtown will be get the most of the get the first tranche of hotels. Uptown is going to be packed. Our hotels are going to be full. Our restaurants are going to be full. This is what they've seen with their front tranche of tickets they gave out. 23% to local fans, 50% to US fans, and then 27% to international fans. So 77% of the ticket buyers are coming from somewhere else. And so they're going to be in our hotels, they're going to be in our restaurants. They will give us updated information, but this was the early information. We met them a number of weeks ago. And so, and also the Doc, I hope we see you on Friday. The Balboa, the Mission Vaqueros Trail Ride is coming back to Post Oak Boulevard. First year was last year. Mission Vaqueros is we really love the trail boss. He's a great guy and he's done a lot for this trail ride.
Free drink, free food.
They got first place in Division 2 last year, and they've moved up to Division 1, so they're going against Saltgrass, this big trail ride. This photo is on the front page of the Houston Chronicle. Bob and the Chronicle photographer helped set it up. Great photograph. But this will be on this Friday. It's going to start down at Post Oak Boulevard. Start Richmond, going on the east side of Post Oak Boulevard all the way to the West Loop and then to Memorial Park. Camden is helping sponsor it this year. It costs a lot for this trail ride to come all the way from Goliad to here. Next year, they're going to go back to their original starting point, which is San Antonio. They've also got like 20 riders from Mexico that are head of trail rides in Mexico, around the Monterey area. They're coming up to provide horses and they're going to be in the trail rides. That's pretty exciting. Here they're out. San Philippe. It's going to stop at Williams Tower. It's going to pick up 2 employees from Camden. They're going to ride as part of the deal. They ride it. Camden has flags on there's 10 wagons, I think. They've got a couple Camden flags are going to be on the wagon. There's Post Oak Boulevard. It'll stop again at Balboa. Don.
It was really fun.
And then head on to Memorial Park.
Are all the trail rides coming in this weekend?
This is it. This Friday. Friday's Go Texan Day.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah. And so they all come in. This trail ride used to go down 610. Then we called them up and said, hey, why don't you come to Post Oak Boulevard? So we've been getting the word out to the buildings.
Good response.
We're getting great response. Yeah, they're excited. They saw it last year and they're excited about it coming back. So hopefully y'all can come back if you can. That's it.
I want to ask about Memorial Park and crime. Is there any problem with crime there? Or this pretty?
There's always car break-ins and stuff, but they have their own HPD. They have HPD that is assigned to Memorial Park that stay there all the time. And I don't know if 1 or 2 units. There was an issue with meetups there last year, and we helped them out. And HPD helped them out. I think that's been stopped.
What?
Meetups.
Meetups, a bunch of cars will meet up, and at one point they'll do donuts and.
Too old to know what that means.
And actually, a couple of cars, they've got that new running track over there, the running center. Actually, a couple cars got on that running track and tore up the running track.
Oh my God.
Oh,
They had to
wow.
replace it.
But as
So,
far as attacking people, didn't you kind of have somebody kind of scare you once or something? That was a long time ago. But
Oh, at Memorial?
uh-huh.
Yeah, I had a real problem over there.
I mean, that kind of stuff.
Bad things do happen in safe areas. It's just,
There was a
They,
guy with a piano wire that came out of the woods behind me. And I just was faster than he was at that time.
how long ago was this?
This was 20, maybe 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So I
Something
thought
like
it
that.
was more recent than that. Well,
Yeah.
it was very, very scary.
Mm.
They do have events there with and so, I haven't heard anything recently. Usually it peaks and then they get on it and it goes away.
Safety in numbers go when it's busy.
Yeah, the police are not very visible. I live in Camp Logan. So I'm going in and out all the time. You don't see the cops that much over there. The neighborhoods have their own. And I think that may be a big deterrent.
It was a long time before. I
It
was
makes a
back.
difference.
they have their, I don't know when it happened, but, number, I think it was last couple of years, they've got their HPD that spend time in Memorial Park for most of the day, and they move around. So, I've seen them there, and then I've gone and I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I think a lot of them recently kind of cut that out. Because it was happening a lot under the bridge. That they loved the noise and you could hear it from literally all the way down past West Side.
I wonder if the park has flawed cameras.
Memorial Park?
It didn't at that time.
That would be,
Bob,
I don't think.
I don't think so.
Didn't we talk about that one?
about flock cameras. at Memorial
Install
Park?
it, so.
I don't know.
well, I think you do the whole park, but you can certainly do things like where the running, where the running track is and,
Those flock cameras are.
Can we put that in one of those budgets that were,
let's just get that number a little higher.
yeah,
Yeah.
get the vendors to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Thank you. Oh,
I think that's all.
Oh.
Anything else? We will recess Uptown Development Authority meeting. We will reconvene City Houston Investment Zone number 16. We will adjourn.
okay, I vote to.
Right.
And Uptown Development Authority, thank you see everybody for being.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for all your hard work on the documents.
The crew here really did a lot of work.
Well, I believe
It
it.
was a challenging experience.